Hey everyone, Alex Stivoletti from Detroit Speed, back again. It's been a couple weeks since we've done a project update, so today we're going to walk around the project shop with Matt Butts.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about some of the things that we've been working on and the progress that's been made on a handful of the different vehicles in the shop. So we'll start over here on the fabrication side, then we'll go over to the assembly side and paint area and let you know what's been going on. So we'll start over here and work our way over. So Matt, what do we have going on here?
Tri-tip, early Mark Stilo build. It's like the early 90s, right?
I believe so. I think there was I know I have a photo of Kyle and Stilo working on the car. I think it was 91.
Yeah.
And I know that in early 90s they ran this car on One Lap of America and various other different events. So what is it doing here?
So Steve Rupp, editor of Hot Rod, he ended up buying this thing pretty recently. So he wanted to update it, do a few things, leaving the driveline and everything alone, but it is getting our mini tub and quadrelink set up in it.
Which you can see, Paul's already knocked that out. He's working on the lathe in there, so don't mind the extra noise. I think you guys should be able to pick up the audio, but yeah, the mini tubs are already in.
Yep.
Looks like he's got the cross member and the quadrelink brackets all done too. So he's making pretty quick progress on it.
Yeah, this is a pretty straightforward job. Again, kind of one of the quick in and outs. Being that it's just the work in the back here, you know. Jobs like this we like to try and wrap up within a month. So
yeah,
this is a good one. Get it back on the road. Got a new set of wheels coming for it.
Okay.
Put some wider tires on the back. You know, I think it had 275s on it when it came in.
So now, what size will we be able to run with our mini tubs?
I think a 335 is what's going on it. So.
Okay. Perfect. That's plenty of tire. And I noticed over here, he has a Gear FX 4.9-inch axle housing as well.
Yep. I believe they're actually at Gear FX building the third member for it today. So.
Okay.
That thing should be getting delivered and axle will get assembled and installed.
Yep, so just your standard Tarigo flange. It's a nice piece.
Yeah, I like the color you picked for it.
Yeah, it should stand out under the car, something a little different other than, you know, the standard satin black that we offer. That's why, I mean, we offer them in bare too, so you could do pretty much whatever you want with it, so that'd be pretty neat. So yeah, that's it for Tri-tip. Like Matt said, we'll wrap that up soon. We'll have more content for this car coming later. We'll get with Steve, maybe get a little more of the story behind the car and just get some more photo updates as well. But we'll move on over to Andy's car now that Josh has been working on. And I think the biggest thing is the drivetrains now on the car too.
Yep, he got the transmission tunnel wrapped up last week. It'll be a T-56 Magnum from Bowler. So pretty standard deal there. You know, pretty much every person we do gets the same kind of tunnel job. Get you the clearance you need, and then of course we just dropped the LT4 in, so that's pretty sick.
Another thing that we've been talking about lately, it's been a huge topic of conversation, is driveline angle and pinion angle. So adding the tunnel is a huge factor in that because it allows us to push the transmission up and get the correct angle.
Yeah, a lot of people, I mean, yeah, it's one of those topics, there's a lot of debate. You can fit a lot of transmissions in cars physically without doing a tunnel.
Right.
But not necessarily ideal driveline angle, so we always do a tunnel. I mean, a full build, the car's all the way apart, you know.
It's one of those things where you're already here,
yeah, we're there,
you might as well.
So that way we can dial in the driveline angle, you know, 1.5 degrees, 2 degrees is kind of where we like to be most of the time. So, and then, you know, nobody likes working on anything that's like super hard to get at. So you do the tunnel, you save yourself some trouble in the future. So
exactly,
if you're doing clutches a lot, if you're hard on them, you know.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know, being that we got an LT4 in here, it's just a GM crate engine, but I think as far as horsepower goes, I mean, where are these rated?
I think they're around 630.
Yeah. So I mean, it's plenty of horsepower, so we know Andy's gonna have fun with it.
Oh yeah, plenty enough to get you in trouble for sure. So
absolutely, you can get in trouble with like 400 horsepower. So that's pretty cool. And of course, Kevin's GTO LT5 powered, 700 plus horsepower.
Yep.
So I feel like between Andy's car, Kevin's car, and Chris's Daytona over there, I mean, we have like
gobs of horsepower.
Yeah, I know, like 2,500 horsepower.
In crate motors from the factory, which is kind of crazy.
I know. Who would have thought?
Yeah,
you know, if you go back like years ago and you're saying, oh yeah, by 2020 you're gonna have a 1,000 horsepower crate engine from Dodge. You'd be like, yeah, okay. But we're here and we're doing it. So what else has been done to Kevin's car lately?
So pretty much got all the interior sheet metal wrapped up. Same thing. Tunnel was finished. Modified the factory console. He likes the general original feel of these interiors, so we cut the console down, made it fit the new raised tunnel.
Okay.
It'll all get reupholstered to match, and then moving on to like the outside, you know, basically working on a lot of the detail stuff, mounting ECM. There's the e-brake. That's electronic e-brake back there. Stuff like this. We cut the corners of the cowl off. This car is getting the wipers deleted, so actually most of the engine control system will be mounted inside of the cowl.
Okay, so yeah, just stuff it all in there.
Yep, so this will then be sealed off with a bolt-on panel. So it'll hide a lot of your electronics. It'll make it really convenient to wire.
Right.
And stuff like the tank for the charge cooler for the supercharger. That's tucked away
just tuck
in the
it all
cowl,
in there.
so.
And I know over here, we posted a picture of it earlier, but that's where the ECM actually goes right there.
Yep.
Mounts up, and then I think, what's that over there? Is that like the...
That's probably the fuel control module.
Okay.
Because of the LT engines, they use, you know, basically an electric feed pump and then the mechanical high pressure pump.
Okay, so, yeah, because they're direct injected engines, so they need a ton of fuel pressure.
Yeah. So I believe that's straight up just the fuel pump controller is all that thing is. So.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so
it's coming along.
Engine bay on this thing is going to be super tidy with everything tucked back out of the way.
And everything, it seems to be fitting very, very well, too.
Yeah. You know, you probably wouldn't be able to fit the LT5 in the first gen with a flat hood. The A-body, the GTO, has a little bit more hood clearance. We did drop the motor mounts just a little bit to help any little bit we could. But,
so, yeah, and this will, I mean, there's not going to be a cowl on here, too. We'll have a flat hood.
Just a standard GTO hood.
Yeah.
So.
I know we're going to have that iconic hood tack on there as well. Yeah, I mean, Josh, he recessed the firewall, so you have, you know, plenty of clearance to get your hand back there if you ever need to work on anything.
Yep.
So it's just thinking ahead, but man, it looks fantastic.
We used basically modified a set of our LS headers. We don't offer a Profab LT header, so
not yet.
Not yet.
Hopefully in the future we'll have that coming.
Yeah, so we cut the flanges off and put a set of LT flanges on those. So still a Profab header like we typically use, just
that's modified to fit.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, there's still plenty of room to get around in there too.
Yeah, not all. It's all packaged really, really nicely, better than we thought it would. So
it's coming along. And we'll move over to the Daytona. I know last time I ran through, did a quick update. I showed everyone the tunnel, kind of, you know, what Mark's been doing there. I mean, this tunnel extends pretty much from the firewall all the way back, because this thing is going to be low.
Oh yeah,
as low as we can possibly get it.
Again, that goes back to the drive-on angle and everything. So, you know, people have seen we put the first-gen subframe in it. It's moved forward and raised up. You know, we had to notch the rear frame rails and stuff because super low ride height is the goal, which hence gets you a big tunnel because everything's pushed up in the car higher.
Right. And I know he's also got the booster on there as well.
Yep.
So that's one of our boosters.
Yep, our booster master. He basically was getting all this stuff in place because he's starting to build headers. Got the clutch master mounted, steering shaft mocked up, and then we're scratch building a set of headers here because, you know, Camaro subframe for a Elephant and a Charger. Nobody makes that application.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of it's an oddball deal. And I mean, I've seen Mark build sets of headers in the past before, and
dude,
I mean, he's amazing with it. Yeah. Especially, I think that, you know, the latest one that I've seen him do is the set of headers on Larry's car.
Yeah.
Especially when you're working on such a large engine and a tight engine bay, just how he's able to work everything out was pretty cool. And I really dig the clutch setup too. Yeah. I spoke to him about that last week, and it's on a cantilevered system with the pedal because it doesn't directly line up. So it's just crazy work, but that's just how Mark operates. It's like, hey, this needs to do this, and he figures out exactly how to make it work. Yep, and he's got it.
worked on. We had to do a few modifications up here too. So this is the front drive that the Elephant comes with. So we ended up having to pocket the frame on both sides because really low mount compressor. The alternator is pretty big.
Yeah.
Kind of low mount as well. So
but it's just one of those things where we don't make this for a Charger. Yeah. And I really like, I mean, I've touched on it before, but the pocket to get your hand in for the oil filter. I mean, just thinking ahead too, like, you know, it makes maintenance a lot easier.
Yep.
So you can just stuff your hand in there and get it done.
Yeah, nobody likes things that are difficult to work on. So.
No, absolutely. Cool. I think that's pretty much the latest with what's been going on there. And I know Bruce has been tearing down the chassis for John's 69 C10. So this will go get blasted and then powder coated, because that's over in the body shop right now. So those guys are working on the cab and all of the body panels. So hopefully by the time this comes back, they're getting close on that, and then it'll just be ready to be reassembled.
Should be painted in color by December, so that's a good
okay. Yeah, and that'll be. We still don't have a swatch or anything to show anyone, but it's a pretty unique color.
It's a satin blue.
Mm-hmm. You guys can see a little bit of the work that went in the chassis, boxing out the frame rails. Man, it's a factory frame that's just modified to work with what we're doing to it. So you don't have to go overboard, do anything too crazy. Just work with what you have. And of course, you got pallet of parts sticking over there.
Yep.
All the stuff that came off of it. So we'll organize all that stuff, figure out what needs to get blasted, what needs to get powder coated, cleaned up. And yeah, Bruce will keep making progress. But now I want to go check out assembly. That's what I'm most excited about, because the Mustang's finally taking shape. Yeah. So let's go over there and check that out. All right, I lied. Before we talk about the Mustang, we're walking in the paint booth. Show you guys some of the stuff that's already been body worked and put into epoxy sealer. So Michael and Alston have been working hard to get this stuff knocked out. So I know they're over on the other side of the wall working on the cab, body working everything there, making sure everything's perfected, and then eventually it'll come in here and get the same treatment. So that's kind of the process we do on everything. Body work it, get it where we want it, get it looking nice.
Because basically I think all this stuff is finished body work. It just needs to be wet sanded before it gets painted.
Okay. So yeah, next step after this is get everything else set up with the cab and the bed, and then get it painted. So look forward to that, and hopefully the next couple videos that we release. And of course, Alston will get to try out that new awesome Sada fresh air mask thing. Yeah, when we came and demoed that, I mean, he was loving it. So
check out the new spacesuit.
Yep, looks cool, works good, keeps you healthy. We're slowly working over to Chris's 66, but I know all you Foxbody fans are going to be excited to see this. Real quick. Oh, that's it. That's all you get. That's it. Dan's working on test fitting some product, so look to see that soon. All right, last part of the video, most exciting part of the video, in my opinion.
Yep.
Chris's 1966 Mustang in assembly. Matt's been putting all the suspension parts on. Brandon's in there doing some Dynamat, making sure that this thing's not super loud going down the road, dampening all the sound. And what else do you want to talk about it? What have you done?
I mean, basically the goal initially is just get to the car to a roller status. So full suspension's installed, did all the brakes, all the plumbing. Honestly, all the plumbing is about the first thing that goes on, because once you start putting suspension and stuff in the car, it gets kind of hard to get at the hard lines and stuff. So
right.
Fuel lines, brake lines. We'll get Brown & Miller out here to make us some brake lines, and I'll probably bleed the system before we get the rest of the drive line in. That way it's easy to take care of any leaks.
Yeah.
Not having to work around the motor. Fuel tank's in. You can see like the Vaporworks controller. That's a stock pump module from a late model CTSV, and then we also have a fuel content sensor. So if you end up running the 85 or anything like that.
Okay, so it'll automatically recognize and it'll swap.
Yep.
Okay.
So we've been doing that on most of the builds lately. It's kind of convenient.
Yeah, and we're doing, I see there's bare 6P in the rear.
Yep, with a
then
nickel finish.
And then we have the the 6Rs in the front.
Correct.
So I know one thing people were noting in the last video with Steve's Mustang, they were saying that the rotors were on backwards. This is actually how Bear sends them to us. They put a sticker on it, right or left. This is how they recommend setting the brakes up. They're the braking experts. We trust their opinion. Same thing with Willwood. So they are directional, and that's how they're supposed to be set up.
And one thing that people don't realize, you know, you can see this rotor and it looks like it's the wrong direction based off of the milling marks and the holes, but what actually matters is the vane direction. And so nobody sees the vane direction, so the vanes are actually pointing the opposite direction of what these outside features are.
Right.
So the vane is what actually cools the rotor, and if you put that on the other direction, your rotor would build more heat. So
yeah, and you wouldn't be cooling it.
Yep. I don't know the theory behind the direction of the sipes on the outside, but the vanes inside are actually what matters. So.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how they tell us to put it on. We trust them. We work with Bear on most of our builds. If not Bear, it's Willwood or AP, but for the longest time we've been running Bear. And of course, those are their errata speed rotors. So like Matt said, 6P in the rear, 6R in the front. And what do we have up front for suspension?
We have got the full Alumaframe. We powder coated everything. It's got our rack in it with the upgraded lines from Brown & Miller.
Yeah, because normally that's a hard line, but we do offer a kit that has soft lines as well. They're just a little more durable than the factory hard lines that come in these racks.
Yeah, especially if you're autocrossing and stuff, you smack cones up under the center of the car.
Yeah.
It'll damage those hard lines. Those are a little bit more forgiving.
And this has our double adjustable remote reservoirs from JRI. They have our suspension tuning, so we give them the specs of what shims we want and whatnot, and they build it for us. So double adjustables, and it looks good. I love how everything's blacked out now too. I mean, it's cool to look under it and see the raw aluminum, but I think the black is just a little more subtle, it hides it a little better, but it looks cool.
Yep, for sure.
I don't know what else we have to talk about here.
Yeah, we got the brake master, clutch master, prop valve, all that stuff's installed. So again, basically, I mean, really for the most part, all the hardline plumbing on the vehicle's done.
So we're getting down to the wire on this one.
Yep, hope to have it on the ground probably next week. Have some wheels on it. We've actually got to move everything out of this area of the shop, so we're getting the floors re-epoxied, so
yeah,
it'll be a super fun time.
That'll be cool, because I know we're gonna stick big old Detroit Speed logo right there. So that'll look pretty cool.
Yep.
Having brand new epoxy floors, big old logo.
Probably do a little bit of rearranging of our assembly area. We've gotten it pretty good over the last few years, but you always like to try and make it more efficient. So.
Right, yeah, and because I mean, I don't know if anyone's been here lately, but I mean, the mezzanine, it's all new. We had that done last year, maybe a year and a half ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
About that time. So that's pretty much just all part storage for cars that are down here, cars that are in paint and body. So it'll be nice to just reorganize this. I mean, it's already a nice space to work out of, but...
It is. You can always get better though, so...
I think that's it for today's video. We went over a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
And that's all we have. So we'll keep more videos coming. If you guys like stuff like this, make sure you subscribe so you can see more. And we have plenty more content if you scroll through our feed, you know, meeting up with customers, checking out their cars, and going to the races, and just abusing our stuff and having fun, because that's what it's all about. Get out and drive your car. So thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you give this video a like, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Matt.
No problem.